Well, good morning, family. It is 8 minutes past the top of the hour. It is the 13th day of November, and welcome to another episode of hashtag Truth Be Told on this Work It Out Wednesdays. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building from 100 BLK, the Black Station. You know, I'm in here normally with my crew, with my brother from another mother, who I'm sure is on the way. Brother Fatim is coming, and Sister Jax. Well, look, I need to start this off with a special announcement. As you know, normally on our Tuesdays, we have the doc in here. And Doc we have held him in prayer. And here's why you hold people in prayer. I'm going to say this as calmly as I can say it. You know, I woke up this morning to a text that my grandson is in the ER. That's why you pray for other folks. That's why you keep them uplifted in prayer, because you never know when you yourself will need that same prayer. So my little grandson is in the ER, last I heard, and I may jump on or jump off. I may get a call. He is doing as well as he can do. He has some congestion, some severe congestion. They're checking him for RSV. They're checking him for COVID. But I was just about 25 minutes ago alerted that my grandson is in the ER in Houston, Texas. So little Jordan Quest Lily, I'm going to keep him lifted up in prayer. I want you to keep him lifted up in prayer with me, along with my daughter, Keanu Sade, because as you know, as a parent, especially as a new parent, your child's not even 6 months old and you have to rush them to the ER. So I see that my brother from another mother has came on. He may have to go solo a few times during the show because I may have to jump off to find out what's going on with my grandson. But if you would, everybody, please keep my grandson and my daughter lifted up in prayer along with his father, because I'm pretty sure Chris Lilly right now is a nervous wreck with his son in the hospital. But last I heard, they are in stable condition. I'm going to be getting updates during and throughout the show. But welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Let me go ahead and bring him on. There he is. It's my brother from another mother. Brother Fatim is in the building. You know him from the Open Lines Online and Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. It's Brother Fatim, y'all. Good morning on this Work It Out Wednesday. I see you with, is that a Dallas shirt on? Yeah.
I wore a Dallas shirt last night. I got a Dallas shirt, got a Dallas hat. I just got it backwards, say NFL on it. But before we go into any of that, yeah, prayers up to your grandson, prayers up to both parents, your daughter, the child's father, them, because a lot of people, you know, they just sometimes think of the moms, but is the dad there?
Oh, yeah.
And
this is my dude, and I respect him highly, and I know he's probably a nervous wreck, just like my daughter probably was a nervous wreck when she had to rush him to the hospital. But
how old is he?
He is a little bit over 3 months, because he was born on July the 9th, so he's a little bit over 3 months. So
he's in the best.
I just trust God in this thing. You know, some folks may look right now and say, man, your grandson, your firstborn grandchild is in the hospital. You look very calm. My confidence is in the Lord. My confidence is I pray for so many others. My confidence is I do so much for so many others. It's times like this, I lean back on my works and I just calmly look up to God and say, God, with all that I've done for others, please just come and see about me. And
let me just say this, Joe. And that's great. You pull on what you need to pull on. Children do get sick, especially at this young age. You know what? That doc that comes on Tuesday, that was a little different type of situation. Right now, it seems like they got to make sure to rule out certain things with this RSV. To remember, your grandson is too early for certain type of shots and stuff like that. So, you know, you just watch, you know, did he have a fever? I assume he had a fever, but how high was the fever and all these things?
I haven't, I had talked, I did not talk to my daughter. She's supposed to be calling me. I actually talked to my ex-wife and we had a very good conversation where she was very confident that everything was all right.
What's the symptoms, Joe? What's the symptoms?
We didn't go through all that. She basically wanted to let me know that he was in the ER and I needed to know, did I need to be on my way to Houston? And she said she does not believe so. I have texted my daughter and my daughter doesn't seem like she's in a 911 situation, but her and the father, Chris, and I'm very confident in the father, in Chris. I'm very confident in Chris and my daughter that together, along with the doctors there at Houston, at the Children's Hospital in Houston, that my grandson will be okay. I am waiting
Okay.
for her to call, and she said she would call. So once again, I'll let the parents be the parent. I'll be the worried grandfather, but if I'm needed, I'll definitely be on my way. And I'm very appreciative that my ex-wife, the grandmother, let me know what was going on, because I'm pretty sure my daughter was in such a nervous wreck. She did what most young ladies do. She called mama first and said, "Mama, you know what's going on?" And mama reached out for me. So I am thankful that little
Yeah.
Jordan is in stable condition, and that whatever the issue is, I am believing in the doctors and I'm believing in my guide that all is well. He will be healed and whole, and the report will be, as you say, children get sick. That is a part
Yeah. I
of being
mean,
a parent, and that's a part of being a child.
yeah, since you already put the God and all that there, I leave that there. We don't have to, we leave that there. For me, I tag team. So I understand that grandparents and aunties and uncles are concerned. So how me and Hanifa did it, we tag team. I forgot, Rakaya was in the hospital. Hanifa was there. I was at work. Hanifa gets sick. She gets admitted in the hospital. They wind up pulling went to administration. They put Hanifa on the pediatric floor in the room with my daughter. Then my daughter got hospital down south with E. coli in the system. They didn't want to release her because we had to travel, but they had the temperature under control. They got on the phone with her pediatric doctor. They released her as we traveled back to New York to go straight to the doctor in New York, but she was already on antibiotics. Once she got checked by the doctor there, but they didn't have to admit her. So what we did is we played tag team. One parent, right now they have to deal with making sure the baby's comfortable, this, that, and the other. And then they sometimes relay that information to one person, and that one person trickles it down. So right now, if they in the ER, then they just trying to make your grandson comfortable. Right. And to assess, and he's so small, trust me. And when it comes down to kids, I hate to say this, but it's a good thing. Doctors in hospitals and administrations, they tend to put their heart into children, especially when they're sick.
Right. I also see here Laura Bell put out here, and I want to put that out there. She says, "Everybody pray for my beautiful niece who was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Keep her in prayers, people." And yes, we will keep her lifted up. There's nothing that cannot be done when you have faith, believe, and allow the doctors to do what the doctors need to do. The mixture of all of that normally comes out with a good result. And if it's not a good result, then at least you have the confidence of knowing that people are doing what they need to do to try to do the best they can to bring about healing. So that's always a good thing. Man, how you doing on this Work It Out Wednesday? 17 minutes past the hour. And why you in all this Dallas gear? Are you don't call it a comeback? I'm just asking.
Yeah, like I said to Victor last night on Tangy T, we had a good conversation about transparency and honesty about men. That was a good conversation last night with Veronica and Victor. And he brought up why I had Dallas gear on. And I said, the reason why I put on my Dallas gear is I'm riding with him. But one thing that you're not seeing on the internet is we them boys. Dallas, because of our record, because we're playing like crap, we have been shut down. I'm not the kind of S talker, sugar honey iced tea talker, to the point where if we win a game, we're in trouble. And I'm not going to go, I can't get on the internet and say we them boys. And I'm kind of glad because it humbles us. But it makes me put this on, and I'm humble with it. This is my team, but I'm not going to run from and be in my team. I'm not making no excuses there, but I'm going to wear my gear. I wore you saw I had the other sweatshirt that I had my jean outfit on yesterday, and I wore that out yesterday. So I'm I ride with Dallas and Cowboys. That's what I do. But as no excuses, we've been shut down, and that's cool. We've been humble, and I think that that's a good thing, because I think we did push the damn envelope, and they haven't been to the championship and won a championship in a long time. So I think we needed to be humble, and this is a humbling moment. And I think when Dallas comes back, I think we need to be a little bit more humble as we move forward. And even if we do win a championship, yeah, we're gonna say them boys. But at the end of the day, we were a little obnoxious with that. We were a little obnoxious with that, and I ain't gonna sit there and say we were.
Hey, Dallas is America's team, was America's team, just like the Atlanta Braves. For the longest, people who were Braves fans were just, to me, the most obnoxious fans in baseball. And it all had to do with the turn of the decade in cable TV and Turner Broadcasting, and how a lot of people who didn't get to see certain things all of a sudden got to see everything. And speaking of which, look what I got in the mail. Look what I got in the mail from the grand elder himself. Look at what I got in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
I am so blessed that
mine is downstairs in the mailbox. I got to go get it.
Angelo Ellisby blessed me, and thank you, Brother Fatine, for making that connection. I do very much need to talk to that brother, so make sure I get his number. I need to call him, and just like I said, I want to just sit and listen. Sometimes it's good to sit and listen at the elders' feet and hear what they have to say, because they can impart in you some things that can make not only your life easy, but the life around folk you know easy. So also, I want to say this. If you're in Lafayette, Louisiana, or the Lafayette area, my phone is going off right now. There is a severe weather alert, flash flood warning. And when I tell you I woke up this morning to nothing but thunder and lightning and a lot of heavy winds and rain, that's all it's been doing. There are areas in Lafayette right now that are flooding. So if you don't have to be out and about on the streets of Lafayette, Louisiana, stay at home, because you do know there are some low-lying areas that the flooding can be severe. We have had people caught up in flooding, had their cars totaled by the water. So if you ain't got to be out there in them streets, don't be in them streets. Unfortunately, as soon as I get off this broadcast, I got to get in uniform and get in them streets. So, but to everybody else out there, please be careful. And I'd like to talk about something else. There's been a great deal of gun violence and shootings in the last 7 days in this region, not only in the city of Lafayette, where 3 people lost their lives, but just in the surrounding areas. And I'd like to talk about that for a minute from this perspective. We get on here and we always talk about the adversaries and the opposition and those who are against us. We got to stop being against ourselves. The number of shootings, and if I'm correct, in the last 7 days, there has been probably 8 to 9, maybe 10 shootings in the area of Southwest Louisiana, which is known lovingly by some as the Acadianas, which is I believe a 9-parish area, 9-county area. All these shootings are us shooting and killing us. Black and brown folks upset with black and brown folks, shooting at black and brown folks. I don't have no cliche-ish things to say, but we've got to, as much as we talk about other folks who don't look like us, we've got to start addressing why are we so angry with one another. And we really got to put the guns down. That is somebody's son. That is somebody's daughter. That is somebody's father. That is somebody's mother. That their children and their loved ones will never see again, except in photographs and when they visit the gravesite, because of anger and because the issue could not be resolved without somebody pulling out a gun and killing somebody. Out of the 3 people that died in Lafayette this past weekend, one of them was an innocent bystander. One of them was not even the target of the shooter. The shooter here in Lafayette literally killed 2 people. One was his target and wounded 2 others. So there are folks now in the hospital dealing with what goes on in hospitals, dealing with going from critical to stable condition over us shooting us. We just got to do better. I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer or stay on that long. I'll let Brother Fatim say what he needs to say. 23 minutes past the hour. Family here in Southwest Louisiana, put the guns down. Let's stop all this nonsense and this senseless violence. Brother Fatim.
I mean, those are good words. Unfortunately, they go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah,
I done beat this horse before. You got to understand that we live in communities. Communities have crime. Why are we so angry at each other? Because we are in a rat race. We are a bunch of rats trying to survive. And that's the bottom line. I'm not sitting up here giving those statements. We've been doing this for a long time. We know that this should happen in the sense of trying not to be violent and respect. We got other issues, and you're going to have a rude awakening. Trust me, you're going to have a rude awakening coming up. And I'm just going to sit back. I'm not going to say much. I'm just watching the nominees of Trump, and these are fools that he's putting in office. So you can go out there and shoot. I don't need to bridge into that because I ain't really got much to say. What you saw.
I got something for you.
Let me just finish on the gun violence. Let me finish on the gun violence because I don't really give a damn about Trump. Now you're going to see.
This ain't about Trump. This is something for you.
Okay, so on the gun violence, we live like roaches. We live like rats, and we're going to survive like rats. And that's the bottom line. And, we've been preaching and trying to teach and this, that, and the other. And that's why I said I start to concentrate on those people that are trying to do what's right to make them better. Unfortunately, we're going to have casualties because we are in a warlike situation. And when I say warlike, not like in a third world country and torn war like that, but living in a jungle. Some of us are living in jungles. And when you live in jungles, some of those savages in the jungles branches out into some of the good neighborhoods, cause havoc, and then innocent people that are trying to do what's right. You understand? So this is what we are. We got to understand it. I keep telling you, we are in a savage society, have always been a savage society. America, the world has been a savage society where people conquer people, enslave people, hurt, maim, kill people, and it just hasn't gotten better.
So, on another tip, the ruling about the 10 Commandments.
Oh, yeah, please get to that.
Every public school in Louisiana.
Can I get a bell on that, please?
The ruling.
Thank you.
The ruling has been given by a federal judge.
And
that is very much unconstitutional.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because I said that.
Now we got to tell y'all the truth about this. That is the silver lining, but we need to tell you the whole story. The Louisiana governor, along with the Louisiana Attorney General, is now appealing this in the hopes of this going all the way up to a conservative Supreme Court where they believe they will have favor. Last night, I had an individual call me and say the following: because of the climate and the temperature of this country and our Supreme Court now, which does not do what the Supreme Court was designed to do, said, do not be surprised that everything that is constitutionally being said was right gets turned over when it gets up to the Supreme Court. And I asked them, why would you say that? They said, well, look at what happened in Virginia during voting. They said there is a federal law that says you cannot change anything with the voter rolls 90 days out from the election. He said that is a law. It's been there. It's been there since the 1800s. You can't do it. You at 90 days, you can't purge a law. You can't you can't do nothing to the voter rolls. And when they appealed it up to the Supreme Court, the lower court said, hey, all these people you purged from the rolls, it was under 90 days. You broke the law. You got to put all these people back on the rolls. They appealed it up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, no, you had all the right to purge them. Said, forget the law. So because it is a conservative majority Supreme Court, they are saying now the Supreme Court is doing more of the bidding of these conservative legislators, the conservative groups. They're not doing what the law says is legal. So they are in hopes. Right now, there is a victory, and we ring the bell. And I
Not
love
going to
what
be
the ladies.
overturned. Not going to be overturned. Not.
Well, we
This is
hope.
not.
We hope not.
Not.
We hope
It-
not. We hope not.
I'm confident. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and eat egg. I told y'all it wasn't going to go. It wasn't going to fly. I expected to go to the Supreme Court. I know it's a conservative Supreme Court. This one is slightly different. They're not, because if they do, they open the door for our Constitution to be ripped up. And they're not going to do this. They are not going to, you cannot do this. This is really severely going down the line of church and state. And for them to change that, it's going to cause more problems for America that they don't want. And they may be a conservative court, but they ain't stupid. They don't want anarchy in this country. One thing is about Roe versus Wade. This country ain't gonna go upside down about that. But you taught Satan religion, and with these so many different factions of religion, people die for religion. That's what they're fighting in Israel over land. People will go to war. They are not going to do that, bro. Trust me.
And the most beautiful, and I know that's improper grammar. Something that was very beautiful that I saw that was said yesterday was an individual said, we got to stop talking about progressive and conservatism and talk about being right. You know, there are some progressive folks that what they say in their progressive manner is very right, and it's very good, and it's righteous for this country. There are people also on the conservative side that say things that are conservative, that are right, that are for the greater good for this country. You know, we're so caught up in these factions, we don't ask the question, is this right? And yesterday, I will say the following. The judgment that was passed down by the judge was right. Hold on. And I'm going to say it from the point of being a believer. I don't have a problem with the 10 commandments being put up in the schools. But if you put the 10 commandments up, you got to put everybody else's religious stance in the school also. You can't just put the 10 commandments up. You got to put everybody. I don't care what their belief are. And if they don't have a belief, then you're really infringing on them to see all these beliefs up, and they have absolutely no beliefs. So
I got a problem.
At the end of the day, here's my thing. If you can't do it for all and make everybody feel comfortable, then just leave it alone. And that's what's right to do, because the 10 commandments needs to be, if you are a person who believes in that faith, the 10 commandments needs to be not only up in your home, but you need to be talking the 10 commandments and instilling that into your family and children. That is not just something hanging on the wall, but it is a lifestyle where, if that's what you believe the lifestyle of your family needs to go in, that's what you need to be teaching in your home, and let that lifestyle be reflected in your children and in how you conduct yourself. It shouldn't be just a paper hanging on the wall, because some of the stuff on that paper, many of the folks violate daily. They steal, they lie, they fornicate, they put other gods before gods. Out of the 10 commandments, there's a lot of commandments that get broke daily. So just having that displayed is one thing. Having that instilled as a lifestyle and a way of life to be cordial to your fellow man and to be loving to one another is something that is different. And once again, I am very thankful. And people got mad at me yesterday when I said it. I said, I'm very thankful that the judge did what was right, even though from a believer's point of view, you would feel like, they don't want us in school. At the end of the day, you're not the only person that has a spiritual belief. Your spiritual belief may be Christianity. What about the brother who has a spiritual belief?
That's a religious belief. That's not a spiritual belief. That's a religious belief, Joe. Well, not a spiritual belief. Because if you come together on spirituality, then you wouldn't be worried about the 10 commandments. You were worried about doing the right thing. That's a religious belief. That's a Christian belief. That's a Christian belief. That's a religious belief.
And that's what I was saying. In so many words, what I'm saying is, if you are a Christian and you believe in the 10 commandments and you believe in Christ, and that's the road of religion that you take, you cannot exclude, because even Jesus said that. He don't exclude folks that did not believe. You know, so if a person believes Muslim, they believe Hindu, you got to understand, Jewish people do not believe in Christ. They do not believe in Christ. If you are Jewish, you do not
they don't believe
in Christ.
that Jesus was the Messiah. They believe that he might have was a Messiah. They don't believe he is the Messiah. There's a little difference with it. That's why I'm saying be careful how you speak, because in Islam, the Ten Commandments is not in the Holy Quran, but Musa, he's called Musa, Moses, his laws are taught in the Holy Quran. Those 10 commandments came through him, and that is taught that his teachings are the same teachings that Jesus came not to change, but to continue to teach. So even Muslims believe in the 10 commandments. The bottom line is, I don't have to be a Christian. It's not about not being a Christian. It's just not what the way this country has moved in by the law. So I disagree with it being in there. I think you, Joe, said a mouthful, but you glossed over it, but you said it, hit it right on the head. Teach your children the philosophy and the 10 commandments and live it. You can put a picture up on the wall and walk in your house and be a damn heathen. So there ain't no words up on the damn wall. So that's why I said, why are y'all getting so upset with the 10 commandments? Come up with 10 other commandments or 10 other inspirational, motivational things that don't infringe on people's rights. That's where you're being selfish, Christians. Come up with everybody could benefit from it, because this is not a Christian society and it never will be. So stop it. Stop. Keep telling people that. Stop. And I'm not upset. I'm just raising my voice because I don't like ignorance, man. If we want to do that, Joe, you hit it right on the head. Teach your children, follow them. Don't let somebody call you a king. I mean, don't call yourself a king. Let people call you a king. Let people say, yo, man, walks in the light of the 10 commandments. Let people do that. Let it reflect on you. You don't need something hanging on the wall to be abusive to other people that don't believe in it. And it's a religious view that infringes on somebody's civil and human rights. Don't do that.
Let your lifestyle speak for you.
That's
let
it.
your works and your lifestyle. And I congratulate that judge for following the law. I congratulate that judge, even though a good friend of mine who's a legislator, one of our representatives who I love dearly, Dustin Miller, is my dude. And Dustin Miller said, and I agree with Dustin Miller from the point of view of his opinion. He says, because Dustin, watch this, even in the Christianity faith, there are different factions. And I will say this, I have never been a Catholic. I don't even know about how Catholicism works. I have always been considered what they would consider a Protestant. I've been Baptist. I've been a non-denominational. And, you know, he said, because the Catholic belief is the way it is, he said, I would love to have the 10 commandments in the school for my children. And I understand that. So just instead of putting it up in the school for your children, put it up in the home and teach your kids the way you want to. At the end of the day, I believe, like we said, and we're going to move on from this subject at 36.
Well, let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this.
Ahead,
so you said, good point. Catholic school, a lot of kids back in the day or parents sent their children, if the public school wasn't a good school and they couldn't afford private school, they would sometime be able to get their children in Catholic school. Now, some of those people were not Catholic. And they didn't run up to the school and say, take the 10 commandments down. They didn't go up there and say, don't teach what the Catholics learn, because you're sending your child to a Catholic school. So before you send your child there, know what they're doing. That's what they do. I would never go up and say, you're infringing on people's civil and human rights because you have a Catholic school. Just like in Brooklyn, the Hasidic Jews, they have their own schools for their children. They send their children to the school. They got their Rebbe picture up on the wall. They can do that. They can do that. I support that. I support anyone controlling their community. I have no problem. Long as their guidelines is being followed by the city and the state or the parish, as you said, I'm fine. You can do it because you need to take control of your community. I don't have a problem with that. But when you come to public school where there's a melting pot, you have to be very careful of how you move out here. And that's why I was very confident, and I said it on this show, when the judge ruled, when we brought it up and said the judge was going to rule around November 14th, around that time, I told you, oh, he's going to rule this way. I'm not surprised because again, this is a conservative court. We're going to see a lot of changes. But I'm telling you, this one, if you do this, you open the door for the amendments that dealt with slavery and other things to be taken off the table, and we will have anarchy and this country will fall. They will burn the bridges down. Trust me, y'all are pushing the wrong button. Trump is doing what he wants to do. We're going to see what happens. It ain't going to be good. I'm just looking, Elon Musk is being put into a cabinet position. This is the most pathetic thing that I've ever seen, and I'm not surprised, but I thought that there would be somebody that could control this guy. This is worse than I think. Y'all are in for a ride. Y'all got what y'all want. Buckle up. And unfortunately, us that didn't vote for him, we're going to suffer with it. But I'm going to tell you, every time I get a chance to egg on your face, I'm telling you, people, Joe, I hate to say it here, people are going to move. When shit breaks in this country, people are going to move on Trump supporters. Oh, and Trump supporters are well armed. This is going to be bad because people are going to move. Don't think that I'm wishing it, but don't think people moved on Trump. Iran hired hitmen on Trump. He got a target on his back, bro. And this is, y'all wanted this? You got it. Get ready because this is going to be hell.
We hope for the greater good of all of us that
this ain't going to happen.
We hope. And hope is a strong word. We hope.
And we are realists too. Look at his administration, what he's doing.
And I see it. You got Ramaswamy and Musk over the what is it? The Department of Accountability. You've got different people coming into the administration. And of course, a lot of them are yes men and yes women. And once again, we got to go back to saying what we know is true. Elections have consequences, and we got to address the over 10 million Democrats that didn't vote. One day we're going to have to really break it down. We're going to have to get some people who know civics, because one of the things I heard somebody say, we had a buku folks that did not vote. And at the end of the day, the elections have consequences and the spoils go to the victors. At the end of the day, the man won. The man is in. He's in Washington, be exact. I just seen him. He just got off of Trump 1 and got into the motorcade to head to the White House to have the meeting with Joe Biden for the peaceful transition of power. And I'm so happy that there is going to be a peaceful transition of power. So, at the end of
Democrats
the day,
Democrats ain't got no kahunas. They ain't doing no crap like that. Democrats ain't got no kahunas. They wouldn't even talk nothing like that. We don't talk like that. We don't talk like that. But I'm gonna tell you, I bet you some of y'all will grow a set soon. I bet you some of y'all will grow a set soon. Y'all see. Y'all will see. Then y'all gonna come back. Oh, Fatim, man, brother, it is about to go down. It's about to go down. I feel bad. I'm scared. I'm scared this time. I'm scared.
Okay. We can just hope. I look at my license plate every morning and it says HHV. I got hope, happiness, and I believe in victory. And guess what? Like I said, the same guy that gave us Moses, the same guy that gave us David, the same guy that gave us Jesus is the same guy that allowed for 400 years Pharaoh to sit on the throne and enslave his chosen people. So, maybe we
want to hear us.
Maybe we need to wake up.
I want to hear from us what God gave us to do and be strategic. I'm not sitting here looking in the past. I learned from the past. I'm not, you got hope. We all got hope. We all have faith. We all pray that do go that direction. We all have faith. I'm just not sitting back like Reverend Sharpton. He's a preacher. Inauguration on King Day. He's in DC. We in the march. We rolling. We marching. We rolling. We not inauguration day on King's Day. What a slap in the face. I ain't sitting up here talking about God and Mo. I'm not doing that. We get in the streets. We're strategizing. We are talking what needs to be done. How do we move forward? God gave us the breath in our body to choose this or that. I don't need to be talking that. I need to be walking that. And that's what I'm saying. I ain't do kumbaya in this. This ain't about singing. This is about doing, man.
Well, at the end of the day, I listened to Reverend Sharpton's show yesterday, and he did ask some very, very strong questions. He asked one, should the Black caucus and Black leaders
meet with Trump?
And how did the people feel about that? Yep. And you had mixed bag of most folks said no, don't meet with. But once again, here's my question. And my question is simple. And look who just showed up. Aha. Family, look who's in the building. It's the Arthur, the art therapist, the life strategist. She's in the building.
What up, Jax?
Sister Jax. Hey, Jax.
What up, Petite?
What's up, Sister Jackson? Oh, I didn't thank you on the show. Thank you for the poncho you gave me. Thank you for that.
Oh, good. Good. Joe, I still got a package of stuff for you too. So I got to put it in the mail, Joe. I got 2 different locations I got to drop stuff off. So I'm going to get you your stuff this week, Joe.
Oh, it's all good, sis.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Sorry, y'all. You know what? Yes, y'all know how stuff be going on all over the place. So it's funny because, I'm having a renovation done at my home. So we have a lot going on in different, one guy's there now painting at noon. The second crew was coming to do some other stuff. And I was literally preparing. And I happened to look over at the clock and saw the time. I said, oh, my God, I didn't call in or get on. So I truly apologize because I've been so busy just taking care of this project. And it totally slipped my mind.
Care of you.
Yeah, so.
Got to take care of you.
I know, y'all. Yeah, so I'm back on the road. Got to get some stuff before the guys get here. So I just wanted to hop in. I'll stay on for a minute while I'm about to pull up to another location right now. So what y'all talking about? What's going on? Fatine acting right today? Or Fatine acting up?
Hold on. Let me
revolutionary today.
Because I hold on. I need you first. I got news before the show. My little grandson is in the ER. My grandson is in the ER.
Oh no.
So he seems to be having some type of we'll talk later. And it's like, I've already asked everybody in the chat to pray for him. So it's not only pray for him, pray for his mother, his father. It's a part of parenting. Sometimes the children get sick, and in these days and times, you cannot play around with things. So she rushed him immediately to the ER, and it seems to be that he's in stable condition, but he has they're checking him for COVID and breathing disorders. He may have RSV or bronchitis, something like that. So we just keep them lifted in prayer that the report is everything is fine. Hopefully it's just a bad cold.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah,
I remember those days. That's scary as a parent, especially as a new parent. When your kid is sick and and they can't tell you what's going on, and then the fever is all out of control, and they're crying, and it's scary. So definitely prayers for your daughter. That
part. So we also talked a little bit about where we're at right now. We talked about the 10 Commandments and the ruling in Louisiana that the 10 Commandments cannot be displayed in public schools because that is an infringement on the Constitution and on people's religious freedom. So, and we also been having a conversation as, that we got to wake up, man. President-elect Trump has just arrived in Washington, D.C., and we've already seen some of the people that he's putting on his cabinet, like Elon Musk, like Ramaswamy. We see people that he's putting in his cabinet and in cabinet positions. And get ready. That's all I can say. Get ready. And Brother Fatine was like, we ain't playing, on the day of the inauguration, which is King Day, which come on, you could have put it the day after or the day before. But you put it on King Day, and that kind of lets you know how you feel about us. So
absolutely.
And probably in the speech you gonna say, just like Dr. Martin Luther King, I have a dream.
Yep, he'll do that.
So Brother Fatine done muted his mic. He probably got a call, But
Okay.
at the end of the day, he said him and Sharpton and those connected with Sharpton and the National Action Network.
We in Washington. We going to Washington. We
That's
going to
it.
Washington. And we ain't talking. And Sister Jax, this is no knock. I was just saying, no knock on religion or God, or this is not about that. What I'm saying is you can pray, but you got to do the works. You got to do the works. And that's what Reverend Sharpton's a preacher. I brought that up as an example because like Joe was talking about hope and this, that, and that, and we can all have that. Yeah. But that is something that continues to be behind us like the wind to give us that push, that inspiration, and that motivation. But sitting there praying and don't do nothing ain't happen. Ain't happening. Right. It ain't no magical thing that's not happening. So the bottom line is you got to get out there and do the work. I want to hear about strategizing, coming together, what we need to do, and how we need to go about it. We need to really have those kind of conversations. And we need to bring people on here to have these kind of conversations. Sometimes it's going to get heated. Because some people are going to some hardcore. Sister Jack, some revolutionaries are like, I don't have time to deal with moderates. The reason why I don't have time to deal with moderates, because y'all pussyfooting around. Y'all want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're not playing. Trump is not playing. He ain't pussyfooting around. He ain't worried about being a moderate Republican. They are out for the jugular. And we always want to be milquetoast. And I hate to say it, a lot of people that tend to be religious, some tend to be, I this and that. Yeah. We ain't got time for that. Yeah. This is about our survival right now.
Yes. I agree, Fatin. It really is. And Fatin, and I think that's why we all get so passionate on Truth Be Told, because we're all 10 toes down. We're all in this business to affect change and do what we have to do. So we don't take this lightly. You know what I'm saying? We do not take this lightly, whatsoever. So our community, is at our heart. We all have God at our core, and we know God is still a God of love, but he's also a God of war. So, like you said, Fatin, faith without works is dead. And really, the Most High tells us we're not supposed to just sit and pray on it and do nothing about it. He tells us that. So we have to, really, be have a transformative mindset in a forward thinking mindset and stop, dealing with all the other stupid stuff and make things happen. So, amen. But what else, y'all know that Musk is up in there. So what does that mean? My daughter and I talked about it yesterday. We getting some Tesla stock 2 days after school. I don't have any Tesla stock, so we're making sure that we get that. So for all you guys out there, you might want to invest in some Tesla stock because you know how they do things and make sure everybody else is all right. So get your Tesla stock today if you can. And guess what? You can get stock, and there's an app, guys. If y'all don't know, there's an app called Robinhood. That's just one app, but there, multitude, of them, or Fidelity, or you can go to some of your, if you have a financial advisor, but go and do what you have to do. You can download certain apps on your phone and actually invest and get some stock today. Even if it's just a little bit, a couple little shares, get something. So it's going to be all good, y'all. We need to make some money and capitalize off of this thing. It is what it is. Whoever's in the White House going to be there for a minute.
Yeah. So Eddie Bonnet writes, he says, so Trump controls Inauguration Day. Nobody said that. We said it's amazing. To me, it's I'll change the word. It's a slap in the face. And you know why I changed the word? Because we would have utilized that if Vice President Kamala Harris got elected, we wouldn't have been up in awe. The reason why I changed the word from slap in the face, because it's scheduled for that day. You understand? Mm-hmm. I didn't say Trump, but what Trump represents and represents everything opposite of Dr. King, that is hurtful to me and hurtful to a lot of people, black and white in this country, Eddie Bonnet. But if it would have been Vice President Kamala Harris that tries to hold up people's human and civil rights, then it would have been a very interesting day. So yeah, people are going to put their spin on it, but it's not just about spin, it's what it represents. I can see if the office of the president represented that is one thing, but what Trump represents, and I don't care what y'all say, Trump is just not a good individual. He does not represent the characteristics. Nobody that I know of in a right mind will tell their children to grow up and be like Trump.
Yeah.
Those characteristics, to be convicted as a felon, sex abuser, they gotta add on black kids before, and there was no DNA evidence and proving that they didn't do the rape.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Those that will tell their kids to emulate Trump, those are the people that walk in the same light as Trump.
Yes.
That's who will tell their kids to emulate that. So that's why, to me, I said it was a slap in the face, because this country elected a person that is against, but mostly every damn principle of what Dr. King stood for and died for in this damn country.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean. It's a slap in the face.
And you know how many thousands and thousands of little kids right now want to be just like Trump? That their parents are supporting Trump, and the little boys want to grow up to be just like him. You know, so it's the whole next wave. It's been here. You know what I'm saying? It's ebbs and flows, but it's like a ripple effect. You know, so it's going to continue to, you know, the ripple that was, you know, started way back then, it's still just manifesting outwards, and it's still continuing to go and go and go. So those people, even before Trump even came about, their spirits were still the same. You know, and now they just feel liberated and empowered enough to really, you know, expose it even that much more. But these spirits been here before, you know, so this is nothing new. But as Black folks, we the only ones. Oh, we gotta forgive. Oh, we gotta hold hands. Oh, kumbaya. You know. Oh, you know that's Black folks. You know, you tell them to wake up. But what does slavery got to do with it? What's in the past doesn't matter. It matters a whole bunch. But we don't want to tie it all together.
We don't, Jax. I'm going to talk to Reverend Sharpton today. I'm going to text him. Or I might just call him, because I can call him too. You know, I got to do the show. I'm going to tell him, you know, I'm going to suggest to him, Rev, we need 1 million man march turnout. We need more, because Trump people coming. They're going to come out for this inauguration. Trust me. They're going back. And I'm going to tell Reverend Sharpton, we don't need 350 people. We need a contingency of folks. We need to rival this. We need to send a message.
That's right.
They're not going to be able to handle what we're coming with. If we can come right, we need to reach out to every coalition and group out there and include them. As Trump is being inaugurated, we're doing it for King Day, to talk about what King principles were, and to stand up to say that this is the way this country's supposed to be moving in. And that's why we should not alienate nobody, Black, white, gay, whatever. You are welcome to this march, and Reverend Sharpton needs to reach out to everybody that wants that stands on Dr. King's principle and outnumber Trump's inauguration day.
That's right.
But let me ask you this, brother. Let me hold up. Okay, go ahead.
We need to make sure, Fatin, that those that we're calling to get out, that they're not there just for the moment. We need people that are there for the movement, because you get a whole bunch of people that show up for that moment, and after that they go back to their lives and don't give a damn.
Right. And that's why I said we got to be 1 million. That's why I said it got to be 1 million man march type of atmosphere. Because if you remember anything about the 1 million man march on October 16, 1995, for the next 8 to 10 years, brothers went back in their community and started doing. And then what trickled down the next year, the women, the sisters had a 1 million women's march. So we have to coalition build, and yes, turn that moment into a movement. It just can't be motion. It got to be a movement.
That's right.
And let me say this, and in my opinion, this cannot be a referendum on the election. Here's why. If all these folks, no, I'm just saying it can't be, in my opinion. And here's why it can't be. Because if all these folks show up, they need to show up with that mindset that we had at the 1 Million Man March. Because I was at the 1 Million Man March. I was far back than Brother Fatin, because Brother Fatin was up there in where things were really moving and grooving. But I was there, and the mindset was, what do we have to do to fix our communities? And that's the mindset we need to go into this, if it's going to be huge and it's going to be a coalition of folks. What can we do to individually change the atmosphere and the trajectory of our communities? Not a referendum on the election, because here's what I would say. We ain't showing up at a protest that you got elected, because that protest should have happened on election day.
I said why we showing up. We showing up to stand on the principles of Dr. King. That's King's Day. That's the holiday. That's why we're going to Washington. We are going there to stand on the principles of Dr. King and say that this is the way this country's supposed to move in the direction that King talked about. I've laid it out already. It's laid out. Reverend Sharpton laid it out, what it should be. It has nothing to do with the election. It has everything dealing with who was elected president, what he stands on, and the principles of Dr. King on that day of Dr. King's honorary birthday, because his actual birthday is January 15th.
And 15, and also when our people go, at the same token, we don't need to be there acting like a bunch of ninjas, fighting amongst each other.
It's not us that do that. It's them. It's them. So we don't even need to be told that. We don't even need to be told that, because we put almost 2 million men there and we don't do that. We go different places and we don't do that. That needs to be told to them.
No, it sure needs to be told to them. But I'm saying we still have little pockets within our people that still we know how we want to act sometimes. So we just need to make sure we go there and stand on business. Those that want to act, just want to be there for that moment.
Jax, a part of the show that you missed this morning, that's what I was talking about in my local area, in this 9-county or 9-parish area, as they call it, called Southwest Louisiana, known as the Acadianas. We have had probably 8 in the last 7 days. We done had probably 8 to 10 murders from blacks killing blacks. It's not whites killing blacks. It's not blacks killing whites. It's blacks killing blacks. And I brought that up earlier, that I don't have no more words for it anymore, because, I don't, why are we so angry at one another? Why are we? And, I don't like using the word black on black crime, because there's white on white crime.
It's black to black crime is what we do to one another. Black to black crime.
It's humans killing, but we are so at folks that are melanated and look just like us, so upset and angry to the point that, one innocent person got killed this weekend. Person who was just a bystander trying to get into a place to have a good time. Person comes trying to shoot another person, shoots that person too, kills them, and wounds 2 others. There's 3 innocent bystanders that had absolutely nothing to do with the beef. How reckless are we? How reckless are we? And we see this every day, every week. This is happening in our communities all over the United States of America. And it just saddens me how innocent bystanders get affected by this senseless gun violence.
Because, Jax, we live like rats. We live like roaches. And I said this before, we're in survival mode.
Yeah.
Every community preys on their weak. Yeah. Every strong person preys. In Africa, they had slaves. You understand? The people prey on them. We are confined, and then confined with the ills of poverty and all these isms that we have. We have to see the effect. That's why I again, Jax, we've done this. Joe, we've done this. That's why I told y'all, I can't waste too much time on those that want to do wrong. I got a cousin right now that is doing wrong. I reached out to my cousin yesterday. I'm going to see him. I'm going to have this talk with him. And it's going to be heart to heart. Dude, get this shit straight.
That's right.
Get left behind. I don't give a damn you blood. Because the bottom line is, this is time to wake up. But Joe and Jax, you understand this. You are a life coach. When you put a group of rats in a pot or in a case, they are going to go after each other. We are like that. So when we trying to speak these cliche statements to people, you just think automatically a light bulb is going to go up there when they're trying to survive. It doesn't work like that. You got to change people's condition. And when you change their condition, then you can change their mindset. But if you don't change their condition, you can move some people out of the ghetto into a good neighborhood. But if you don't change their mind, they bring that ghetto mentality to the good neighborhood.
No,
so Brother Fatim and Sister Jax, I'm glad you went there, because I had to think about something. The murder I spoke of the 2 individuals that the 2 got wounded, it was actually at an upscale location. The individuals are not, like you said, they might be hood mentality folks. It's that Ja Morant. I call it the Ja Morant effect. And excuse me, Ja, for calling you out like that. But it was like Ja Morant, a guy who grew up well, grew up in the suburbs, really wasn't in poverty at all, but all of a sudden is fascinated with the gangster lifestyle. I want to be toting guns and pistols, and I want to show everybody that I'm the man, that I'm Mr. Bang Bang, shoot 'em up. Many a times that hood mentality that you're talking about permeates itself to the suburbs, that you have black and brown and I'm just going to address my folks. I ain't going to even address the other folks because you have them over there like that, trying to be always, man, I saw this on the 50 Cent movie and blah, blah, blah. You know, you ain't no gangster. You don't know how it feels to live in the hood. You don't know what hood like. You don't know what ramen noodles taste like. But you always want to act like you Mr. Gangster. And that, my friend, is the problem that like you said, and I ring the bell for you, brother Fatim, and around over, it's that hood mindset. I got to be gangster. Some of these suburb gangsters don't know one bit about how it feels to live in a shotgun house with one way in and one way out.
That's right. That's right. And you know what, Joe, on top of it, we have to realize this ain't 1995. This ain't 1995 Million Man March, 1990, whatever, Million One. It is not that. The mindset of our people is so different than it was back then. We got to think, Fatim, even back in the 90s, we had some of that conscious hip hop, right? We had Poor Righteous Teachers, you know, KRS-One, Public Enemy. We had all of that stuff, right? So our mindsets were still different. There also it was not such an influx of guns within our community. Whereas back in the day, it might be maybe one kid every now and then might have, you know, a gun, but now they all got them. You know what I'm saying? They all got them. So this is where this event or whatever, or movement has to be approached differently than it was back at the Million Man March back in the day. Because now you got kids, young kids as well, on pills, smoking weed, fentanyl, you know, sniffing coke, like all this other stuff that is going to be involved that also will shift the mindset. So aside from the whole poverty mentality, because many times that's what it is, as a result of being in poverty, you develop sometimes a poverty mentality. So we then have to think about ways to offset it. What can we do? Do we need to have our own, you know, more so internal security to help be able to talk down some of our people when we see the groups of kids starting to get riled up? Because for them, it's exciting. Because for them, they're looking at like,
oh, what happened to Jax? What happened to Jax?
Yeah, unfortunately, I know she's out there. I want to say this before we go to that comment. Is that I said it should be a Million Man March mindset. Unfortunately, the Million Man March was planned, and we had a year worth of planning. We had in each city,
right,
different groups that we were building, teaching brothers what and how to do and how to go out there and conduct themselves. We don't have this type of time. I doubt if we will even have that amount of people like we had in the Million Man March. I doubt it. I really do. I really doubt it. But again, I can't. It depends on who Reverend Sharpton, what organizations he reach out to, what organizations bring out their people. But what I'm saying, it should be that mindset. The reason why I said he definitely got to get the Nation of Islam out there, because they have a strict protocol of how they deal with that. They also have some type of respect with some of these guys out here, how they move. You don't think that they were killers out there at the Million Man March? You don't think they were drug dealers out there in the Million Man March? We didn't have one incident. You think everybody was a kumbaya brother out there in the Million Man March? And I go back to say to Jax, unfortunately, I grew up at a time, I'm 42 on paper, but I ain't 42. 95, there were more guns out in the street, my sis. They're not maybe as bad as now. But I mean, I can tell you when I was growing up, when we had to call on my people, they were strapped. My boys were strapped. They were strapped. So guns were, there. But you're right. It's a different mindset now and a mentality. That's why I said Reverend Sharpton, again, when he calls these marches, we don't have problems because it's usually the same type of supporting people. I think this march, this time on King Day, is going to be a coalition of other groups that's going to reach out to their supporters that are going to come out. But we're going to need that type of security like the Nation of Islam that gets the respect from the people out there. Even some of the street people still tend to give them that kind of respect. I still see the nation go into the hoods and talk. You don't hear a lot of Nation of Islam brothers getting shot. You understand? By thugs and drug dealers. They still tend to get that respect. And it's how they approach our brothers and these street brothers out here. So we got to be smart. But what I don't want to do what Obama did, I don't want to start chastising us because that's one of the things that takes us off focus. We know what our mission is. If you're going to bring nonsense, don't come because we'll make an example of you. We'll make an example of you. We ain't worried about We will make an
Yes.
example of you. Come
Yes.
with the nonsense if you want. We will make an example of you. We're not playing. We're
That's
not
right.
playing with them,
That's right.
and we ain't playing with us.
That's
We
right.
will
And
make an
that's
example of you.
That's right, Fatin. And that's my point exactly. Is for us to talk to our sons, our daughters, our nieces, our nephews, our cousins, to let them know ahead of time, like, look, this what's going on. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
You're gonna be made an example of.
Damn
So
right.
it's definitely not chastising, but it's still reminding, because we still have to be reminded, because sometimes we forget. Sometimes I'll be out of the spirit and forget what the hell I'm supposed to be doing or how I'm supposed to be walking. But I have to sometimes be checked or reminded, sis, stay in the spirit, stay in this vein. This is what we're doing. This is the mission. This is whatever. So we have to hold each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? So, but the most important part is we all have to go into it being responsible. Because once you're responsible, you don't have to worry about so much accountability on the back end, because the accountability part comes in after the drama went down. Responsibility is the part that we're talking about. Fatin, it's no different than when you was a kid and you go into the store with your mother or your father. What they tell you: shut the hell up, don't touch nothing, don't ask for nothing. It's the same concept. So we need to have these conversations with our people privately, publicly, and do the same damn thing, because we are on a mission. And like I
Yeah.
said, once you involve, substances and all these damn kids are smoking weed and carrying guns. A lot of them, not all.
Well,
of them.
a lot of them won't be. A lot of them won't be there, Jax. Unfortunately, a lot of them won't be there.
But
A lot of them won't be there.
Let me
And
tell you
the
something.
same thing with Unfortunately, and we need to talk to Grandmaster J people, because this brother's locked up. I'm going to reach out to those sisters I meet. We need to talk to Grandmaster J. NAFAC people. NAFAC is not going away. They cut the head off. And when NAFAC went out there with weapons, let somebody step out of line when NAFAC was out there. They would have handled their business. And that's what I'm saying. They didn't go around preaching this, that, and other. They said it one time and moved on. That's not our agenda. Our agenda is this. If you get out of line, you'll be made example one time and we move on. I'm not wasting time on this conversation chastising us as a people. We say it one time, bring the nonsense, you'll be handled. That's it.
So
because I'm tired of checking our folks at the end of the day. You know better. You know right from wrong. Even when you're doing wrong, you know you're doing wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So as the comment is up here, why do black people
Why don't
black people try to get on board, since Trump is already the president-elect, instead of trying to sabotage? Maybe this will be our time to capitalize, in bold letters, but we might miss it trying to be victims. Watch these communities take advantage of this time and win. Yeah. So let me say this, Brother Eddie, and I'm going to let the panel say next. The thing that bothers me the most about this president-elect Trump, and I do, once again, I congratulated him on the win. The people had spoke, is that as I look now at his cabinet and the people that he is choosing, outside of Ben Carson, that is the only melanated black man that I've heard that even may possibly get a position on his cabinet. Where is the Tim Scotts? Where is, be exact, when I look at the folks right now, he's speaking to the House Republicans. There's not a melanated person on that stage. There's not a melanated person on that stage. And it's only one woman on that stage. So I'm looking at it live right now. Trump meets with House Republicans in DC, and there is not now a melanated person on that stage. So does not the conservative or Republican Party represent, is there anybody that's black and brown that represents us? Even, watch this, even Miss Candace Owens has came out and spoke very harshly against this new Trump presidency. Even one person who normally is Trump or down has said, oh, wait a minute, this is some wild craziness here. So I'm just saying, and I agree with you. We should take advantage. We should capitalize. But the question is, are we even going to be allowed in the room? Because I don't see nobody in the room, nor do I see anybody who looks like me, reflects me, or even seems somewhat like me on the cabinet. Rest of the panel, go ahead.
Fatin, and let me tell you something. You ain't the boss of me, Fatin. You be trying to bully me around, Fatin. You ain't the boss of me. So I just want to tell you that.
Love you, Jax. I love you, Jax. But let me just tell Eddie Bonnet, I was going to go over there and light my cigar. Eddie, we cool? You can take that statement and put it where the sun don't shine. Put that shit where the sun don't shine. I don't give a damn what that state. That is a bunch of crap. I'm not. First of all, ain't nobody trying to sabotage nothing. We ain't say the election was fraud. We ain't trying to sabotage crap. We don't like Trump, what he stands for, the people he's putting in office. The people he's putting in office is not qualified to be in those positions. And you want us to get on a train that is going to derail? Oh, no. No. We see this a mile coming down the road. The tracks are warped. The conductor driving the train, Trump, is drunk. This is not, he's drunk with power. He's not drunk with about success. It's about him. I'd stop that. We're not, and calling us, where are we saying we're victims? Where are we saying that we're victims? We lost the damn election. But what we're saying is we're not just going to take this sitting down. Because we decided to march on King Day, we have every right to march on Dr. King Day because that's King's Day. That's number one. Number two, ain't nobody saying we're victims. So what hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're going to do what we got to do because the way this country is going and the people that he's putting in place doesn't just make sense. It just doesn't make sense. You look at it as old cabinet people. The old cabinet people that had some damn credibility, some type of credibility, all came out and said, don't elect him. Don't elect him. Why would I get on a train that you hardly have no black people? I don't see Tim. What's the other guy from Florida? The guy that walked around toting the Republican Party. Has he been appointed to a cabinet position yet? He kissed Trump's ass, not the ring. He kissed Trump's swole ass. That's what you get. Wake up. Black folks, oh, it's coming to y'all that put him in office. Oh, guess it's coming to y'all. Unless y'all gonna go put white shoe polish on your face. It's coming, y'all. And don't come crying to us when it happened. Because I ain't gonna say I told you so. I'm gonna turn your eyes off. Y'all can do that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it or shove it where the sun don't shine. Because y'all ain't good me on that. I ain't falling for this okie doke. You know this is okie doke. This is crap. This is bullshit crap. Even other leaders in the world is like, you elected this fool again?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. I remember when he was in office the first time and he would do a press conference or something, and I would be so embarrassed to be like a part of this country. Like, oh my God, I can't believe he is representing, the whole United States of America. It was just so embarrassing. But we might as well buckle up because it's still about to keep on going.
Other countries right now is looking at the vulnerability of the United States, that if they decide that they want to move on us, they may try. And again, we are a superpower. We are a part of NATO, which he may dismantle. But right now, we are a superpower. He got the nuke codes and the football, they call it. I'm telling you, get ready, man. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready, because he is not a smart individual. And
we talked about it, over and over again about, your to-go bag or your bug-out bag and just being prepared and learning how to thrive and survive and do what the heck you got to do. But, many times it just goes right over our heads. We think it's not going to happen.
Jax, Joe, he put a Fox person on the fucking cabinet. A talk show person. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are we? What is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he has a bullseye on his back. Trust me. It ain't me.
Now this might
but
sound,
trust me.
Hold it. But this might sound very crazy, what I'm about to say. Once again, it is the people that elected him to office, and what we can't deny, and I think many a time we gloss over this, how many people he won the Electoral College and the popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
So he is literally for the next 4 years, because it's 4 years of him being lame duck. He can't run for another 4 unless they change the Constitution.
He's not a lame duck. He's not a lame duck. Please don't call him no lame duck. How does he call him a lame duck with him having the House and the Senate?
Right.
And he's the president for the next 4 years. He's not a lame duck. But go ahead.
Let me rephrase that. For the next 2 years, he's in full control. He's in full control of the House and the Senate for at least the next 2 years. So we do know this, and he can't run after this. After this, that's it. That's why they said some folks are not taking certain cabinet positions, because they're trying to put themselves in position to be the people to run 4 years from today. But once again, what we have to really understand is he won the electoral, He won the popular vote, and he's trying to feed the masses who got him in there the raw meat they want. So guess what? He's not getting the traditional folks, because that's what he always runs on. Washington is run amok with people who have just traditionally went there and did what they always do. So now he's getting unconventional folks and putting them in unconventional positions to feed the people who put them in office, because people who put them in office said they're sick, and their vote said they're sick and tired of Washington being the regular way that it is. But once again, let me say this to everybody. I said this on this podcast, and they've been saying it since day one. The propaganda machine got y'all believing a lie and got y'all believing the truth is a lie. Because if you look at the numbers, and they broke it down even on Fox News, he's about to inherit the best economy ever. And guess what? He's going to take credit for everything, every job, everything that happens in the next 365 days or the next 2 years. He's going to take full credit on it, when the person who built that foundation was Biden and Harris. Period.
So Jessica Dewberry says these black Trumpsters will get what they are asking for and more. And Eddie Bonnet says, what does that even mean? So, Eddie, what that means is that you black folks that went out there and voted for Trump and believed in him, and a lot of you that did go out there and vote, like Joe said, you voted for him. And what I believe what Jessica is saying, and I do agree with her, is that you got to realize that a lot of people are emboldened, especially a lot of white racists and racist organizations are emboldened right now. You're starting to see the kind of spew, the language, the hateful language that is spewed. So when you go out there, if you run into one of them people, or if your wife runs into one of them people, God forbid that happens, or your children run into that, and got to face that. And then you got to stand up and fight against that. And then go out there, and when those that you voted for Trump, and you saying, well, I voted for this man, and they say, I don't give a damn, you still a nigga, then that's the rude awakening. That's what Jessica's talking about, brother. That's what she's talking about, because they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about the gay community. They don't give a damn about the Jewish community. And they sure don't give a damn about the black community. And they don't give a damn about the Latino community, where a lot of Latino men voted for Trump. That's what Jessica is saying, brother. My brother, that's what Jessica Dewberry is saying. That's what's going to happen. You're going to hit that wall. And when you hit that wall, you're going to hit that going 100 miles per hour, and you ain't going to know what hit you. That's what she's saying.
That's right. You know what, guys? Great conversation. I have to run in here to handle some business real quick.
And
I will
you've
hop
been to
back on as
Jack.
soon as I can.
All right.
All right.
So
ain't
it
this
is-
the book guy? The book guy don't come on today?
No, it's third. You said the same as he said the same thing. It's the third Wednesday of every month. This is the second.
See what a
Wednesday.
book he was going to bring out.
Yeah, he's going to bring out a very nice
I need to
book.
change the subject into something from flowers and butterflies.
Let's do this. Hey, I heard that, let's go into your favorite thing, relationships.
Ooh.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Hey, the ladies, man.
It's time for the ladies, man.
My daughter probably say, Daddy.
The ladies,
man. Daddy. I can hear him, Daddy.
Oh Lord. So
I handle mine, y'all handle y'all. I'm still daddy, but you know what I'm saying? Oh, gosh.
So, in this thing called relationships, and there's so much out of there. The question is, what are we doing to better ourselves as men and women in relationships, to make our families, our children, our culture stronger? What are we doing? How do some of you women where's the communications at? Let me ask that question. Women out there, do you feel like, especially single ladies out there, do you feel like there are compatible men out there that you feel comfortable dating? how the dating pool looking right now? Let me ask that question.
How many questions you gonna ask, Joe? I mean, how many questions?
I'm gonna throw a bunch of them out there.
Don't do that because don't start like that because I got a comment on all 10 questions you put out. Come on, put out the question and let's chop it up and let the people chop. You putting out 3 and 4 questions at a time. Come
on, you the ladies, man. You started off.
Yeah, I mean, your questions are legit. I mean, I'm not saying your questions ain't legit, but just put out the question. I don't know. What's your first question? Basically about dating, not dating. You're talking about relationships. So I think, one of the things is that a lot of people they're not in a relationship with one person and representing everybody in a relationship. They're in a relationship. They are trying to deal with life. It depends on how life is going for you within the relationship and how do you tackle the challenges, you and your mate, your spouse. How do you tackle those challenges? What is your mindset? Are y'all on the same page? How do you deal with that? See, that's how it moves. It depends on where you're at in a relationship. If you're financially stable, you have some type of foundation. If you're moving together in a religious, spiritual way, it depends on what and how you're going about it. You're trying to have a successful relationship within life, and life presents challenges. And I think that sometimes those that have an easier lifestyle where finance is not a problem, don't mean because you got a lot of money that you don't have problems. But I'm just saying that if everything is that you're in control, then you can really concentrate on building blocks of building and future building. But when you're living each day, day by day, and surviving day by day, you deal with the struggles of a relationship. So it depends on where you're at in your relationship, the mindset of your partner, and the goals that you're set for yourself and as a couple. So that's what happens. I mean, I can't get in a relationship worrying about other people's relationships or how I'm worried about my relationship and thriving because I need to benefit from my relationship because I want to feel love. I want to give love. We had 2 beautiful daughters. We had to pour into. I had a wife who had health challenges. I had to become an advocate there. So it depends on where you at in relationships. Now, the dating pool, I can't answer that for everybody out there. I'm not in the dating pool. I'm not around people that is on a consistent basis that I feel is on. When I use on my level, I'm talking about age, mindset, because I'm just moved pretty much individual or with my family right now. So I don't know what the dating pool is. I knew when it was before, and it was just hard to find somebody that was compatible. Joe, it just was. I found a lot of women that were corporate. I found a lot of beautiful women that were established, but there was still something just this didn't connect because the compatibility. When I met Hanifa, there's something that clicked right on day one. Her personality, the energy I got from her, the humility that I got from her, and that right there, I knew
that's why you
was something that fed my soul. You took me 27, almost 28 years to meet that one person, bro. Took me 27, 20, almost 28 years to meet that one person, to build with that person, to love that person, and still had obstacles because she had an illness that at times threatened her life. But she was able to survive it with the grace of God and the grace of some great doctors and the medicine that was out there. That's what got us through. And the love and the village we had. Because when she was down, the village came together. She had her female friends, my female friends. They came in the house, helped with those girls, do their hair, help do certain things while I went to work, while I went to the hospital and came back, put the groceries in the house. That's what it was. It was about a village. Everybody don't have that. Other people don't allow a village to come and help in their household. So it depends on where you're at. But I don't know. I want to hear what the other people say, what the dating pool is like. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not trying to date in the sense of a relationship. I just deal with people and have a good time and enjoy myself right now.
Well, I'm just asking that from the ladies that are in the chat. If you're single, why do y'all feel like the dating pool looks like
Yep.
right now? I have discovered this with most men, and I will say this all the time to married men, single men, men in a relationship, men. Period. Ladies, when a man feels appreciated, he will always do more than expected. So I always sit and see why ladies say, well, why ain't they doing this? Why ain't they doing that? Why ain't they doing that? Do they feel appreciated? Because I have discovered that when a man feels appreciated, he will do much more than you expect. And so the question is, so Jessica Dewberry says, I'm not dating. I would love to. She said, when I get some freedom.
She's tied down with health,
right.
We're dealing with family right now.
Right. And I had the awesome opportunity to run into our sister, and she's doing great things out there in Tallahassee. And I always respect women who have that nurturing, because women are nurturers naturally. And she is making sure that her people are okay. And guess what? For that, you get the bell, you get the applause, you get the horn. I am so grateful. There are so many people who are out there like that. And I'm just asking, what does the dating pool look like out there? How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling out there? And is there respect amongst men and women these days? I'm starting to see that a lot of women don't respect men, and a lot of men don't respect women. What's going on with that? What's going on with that? I'm seeing a lot of that.
A lot of what? Women not respecting what? Men?
Yeah, I see there's just no respect. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like people, you say it a lot, and I laugh about this, Brother Fatim, but from an observation mode and sometimes just looking and listening, some people are just in relationships because I don't know if it's the convenient thing to do. It's the I don't want people looking at me, but some people are miserable in the relationships they're in.
So some women are not respecting brothers, and they're doing a little broad brush because of bad experiences. Some women are exposing men to be weak. There are a lot of weak men out there. A lot of men think that they can run households and they're the man because of what's between their legs, or because they are a male. And a lot of women are exposing their weakness. And when women are now running households, taking care of children, going and running companies, and men can't go out there, can't finish school, can't further their education. I'm talking about some. Some of these women are exposing these men. Though I'm talking about those women that can call these men weak. And then a lot of women that may not be doing the right thing, but pick bad apples. They expose the men that they pick are being weak because they don't stand up and take care of their children and do what they have to do. So I've always said before, that's why I said us men need to go through manhood training, because a lot of us don't know what it is to be a man. We just don't know. Somebody commented last night on Tangy T about at 40 years old, a man should know what he wants. Me and Victor tore that up. No, a man at 40 years may not know what he wants. You may assume that a man at 40 years old because you figure that life stages, but you're not walking in a man's shoes. You can't just say at 40 a man should. I would say that, yeah, the man 40, he's done went through what his stages and he should be a family man and this, that, and the other. I know men in their 70s that still play game. That still play game. So I noticed that some women don't respect men because the men that they have dealt with or the men that they are around are just some lazy SOBs. But on the other side, because I ain't gonna let my brothers be mad right now and saying we gonna call in, and I welcome you. There are some strong, beautiful black men that are holding it down. I just put on my storyline. Go on Facebook and storyline. I got a black father with his black daughters in the car. And what he's giving them, they not giving them positive affirmations. He's throwing things at them and they responding back positively. That's how you build our children. That is the father is pointing to his girls. When these girls grow up and they're on the trajectory to be some strong women, they're not going to deal with some nonsense when the guy come kicking some game and kicking some lame game to them. He's raising queens. And if we're raising queens, just like I raised 2 daughters, I raised them to be queens. Now they got to walk in that. They got to live up to the responsibility. I gave them names. We gave them names that they got to live up to and strive to be. We started at birth with them. And now they're grown. Now they have to walk in their purpose. But you think some lame dude gonna come up to them with some crap? That's why some women look at and don't respect men, because men is not doing what they want to do. I said this a long time ago, Joe. I've seen a lot of sisters coming from school, and I see a lot of brothers on the corner drinking 40s and smoking reefer. And I was like, reefer, weed, whatever you want to call it, ganja, trees, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, yo, these women are going to outgrow these men. And now we're seeing a lot of women say, I can't deal with these men because their mindset are like children.
Well, and it comes back to something that you said earlier, and I like to put this in from the perspective of something that you've never experienced. As a father who's raised 3 men, sometimes it's up to us men to be the example to the men, to the young men, and teach them in the proper way to be a man. See, many a times, I know this, and this is one of my truths, one of my opinions, one of my things I stand on. I believe a good man can become a better man when the right woman supports him. And I believe a good woman can become a better woman when the right man supports her. And many a times the problem is we don't take enough time to get to know folks before we begin to pour into folks and we begin to give ourselves to folks. And I think when the right folks come together, it's always beautiful. And I can say this as a man who has helped raise men. You know, I have 3 sons. Oldest is 37, youngest is 16. You know, I, in different stages of my life, have showed them what to do as a man and what not to do as a man. But I have always cultivated them as men to speak to them in a manner to let them know that there is a world out there, and there is a world out there you as a man will have to walk into as a lion. As a young lion, you're going to have to walk out there and understand how to deal with this world. And guess what? I applaud men like you who have just girls. You know, I have 2 daughters. 3 boys. And it is a different type of rearing was with me. Between the daughters and the sons, though my hope and prayer and my mode of operandum was to get them to a place that they could be productive citizens and good human beings in this world. And I think more men need to do that with all their children, to put their children in a path for success, to give them the tools, because they may not, you can give them everything and they still might go the wrong way. You can give them nothing and they can go the right way. But at the end of the day, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, what did I contribute to the success or the failure of where my children are going, especially when it comes down to relationships. And sometimes you got to be that example. That's just what I have to say about that.
So let me say this, and I want y'all, because I'm saying this seriously, but I'm gonna bring something in here, and if I make it, it ain't gonna make you squirm, but it's gonna be like, oh, for tea. Some women, and I go back to Sister Shahrazad Ali. She talked about it in her book. One of the things out here, and I'm just calling it what it is, and women and men, y'all could get in the chat on what I'm saying. We hear more women, for whatever the reason are, because I've heard numerous reasons. I'm not going to give the litany of reason, but I can understand with some sisters why some women say, I don't need a man. I don't need the BS. I'd rather be by myself. You don't hear men saying, I don't need a woman. I don't need a woman. You don't hear that. I'm saying that for a point. Last night, I saw a video. Female showed me a video. And it just makes me think about women needing men. And I'm thinking about, I think, with a spider, they have sex with a man and they kill the man or whatever. That's a spider. No, we're not spiders. But I'd say y'all, but I'm dead serious on. The young lady showed me the roles in action. I watched this, right? Wasn't a long video. That Rose ain't no joke. I was like, that was quick. He said, that Rose ain't no joke. Joe's laughing. See, I know he was going to take this serious. I'm dead serious because you're not realizing you in a relationship. You're not understanding what the hell's going on. Women don't, they can procreate, not procreate. They can have children by going to a sperm bank. They can lay with a man and don't give a damn about that man because they're doing what some men do. Hit it and quit it. They don't even need you now for sexual pleasure. Some men can't even make a woman climax. That Rose made that young lady climax within 2 minutes. So what I'm saying is the more us men don't do what we got to do and more women saying we don't need your trifling asses, it's going to get bad for some men. I'm not talking about the good men. I'm not talking about the men that is doing the right thing. I'm not talking about couples that believe in one another. I'm talking about women that are good women that are tired of trifling men. You got a good job, you got a good car, but you're still trifling. You're still a trifling ass. These women are starting to say, I don't need your ass, especially if they already got children. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up because I hear that call from women. And now I take it serious now because they are crying out, but they're not crying out for help. They're crying out saying, brothers, get your act together. Because if you don't get your act together, I'm not going down the quicksand with you now. I'm not going down the quicksand with you. And there's some comments here. Darlene Bryant says, I'm not in the dating pool. I'm not in the dating pool. I have not met Mr. Right yet. So, Darlene, if you're not in the dating pool, how are you going to meet Mr. Right? If you're not in the dating pool, how will you meet Mr. Right? Nicole Harris says, people doing whatever they feel or want. They are open books and feel it's okay. Jessica Dewberry said, most women I know are either married or not dating. That's wild that I do not know anyone who is actually dating. And why aren't women dating? Nakia Graham Hall says, I have to catch. Oh, that was dealing with TNT. I'm just trying to. Nicole Harris respond. Okay. He said Nicole Graham. Oh, Nicole Harris said Nakia Graham Hall. They ganged up on me last night. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we did, but what Nicole Harris did last night, real quick, Nicole, and thank you, Nicole, last night for your comments. You brought, and it was healthy conversation. It was legit, and we needed you there. It was legit because there was a couple of times, I know specifically one time I asked you to explain something, and you did. So it's good. That's what we need, Nicole. We need to have these kind of conversations. And men and women, don't y'all realize that men and women don't even know how to talk to one another? Sometimes they don't even know how to communicate with each other. They don't know how to, they talk at each other. They don't talk with one another. That's another thing. We talk at our kids, we talk at our wives, we talk at our husbands, we don't talk with them. And I learned to talk with my children because at times my parents talked at me. And I learned to talk with my children because my children gave another side of the equation that I had to change my ruling on what I put down because I listened to them. Because I'm the parent and I'm the adult and they're the child don't mean that they don't have a point of view and that I could be misguided. We got to stop talking at people and start talking with people and start listening. Jessica Dewberry said, hold on. Jessica Dewberry says, well, I've been single for 56 years. I haven't been married. Do I need a man? Well, looking at my life, I would say no. But would I like a good, God-fearing, intelligent, caring, affectionate, hardworking, team building? Yes. That's what she says. So those are some of the comments. Joe, you got a response to that, my brother?
I mean, I really don't because, I'm not on that side of the equation. I'm not out there, I'm not in the dating pool. But I do understand. And once again, I put a lot of where we're at today on folks like you and I. because somewhere along the line, there's some things that we gained that were good, and there's some things that we lost that wasn't good. You know, I look back and growing up, I don't know how, you know, I saw some single moms and I saw how they lived, and I knew their sons and their daughters, and, you know, they were friends of mine that I went to school with. But at the end of the day, you know, all I'm trying to ask is, in this thing called a relationship, things have changed. It's a whole different day. This has changed the game. The access to individuals. I laugh these days. You know, people laugh at me. I had a guy tell me, "Man, you were international before international were popular." And I got partners taking bros trips. I got women I know taking sister trips. And you know, with me, I was in the military and all overseas. And my oldest son is half European. He's half Caucasian, and a great guy, great kid, and his mom a great person. But at the end of the day, these days and times, it's just a different game. And I was just asking, how's it looking out there to the ladies? You know, since we were talking about some kind of harder stuff earlier, and we wanted to get a little softer. It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour, but you know, we might need to bring some people in here to talk about relationships. You know, not to turn it into a relationship show, but to just have that conversation, because we have people in here, and I about raise of hands. I'm curious. Nakia, Jules, let me see who else I got in here. Female. Jessica, we know you're single. How many women do we have in here that are single? How many women right now? If you're single, just say I'm single. I just curious how many women we have on the chat right now that are literally single, that are not in a relationship, that are single. And if you're in a relationship, put in there that you're in a relationship. I'm curious, out of the people we got in the chat, who's in a relationship and who's single, or who's married?
I know.
Married,
I'll speak.
Single, or in a relationship.
I'll speak for my sister KC, because she has something to do today. She was in the chat earlier. She's a single woman. You know, I'm very cool. We communicate. You know, I'm single. She's single. I think. Let me just say this. She just have to play
back in
oh,
the
she
chat.
did. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
She happily single. She said that. You know, but I said to her today, and like I said, I got a chance to meet KC and her daughter Saturday, and they took me out to breakfast or brunch, as you say, and had a great time. This is a sister that is a grown adult. When I have conversation with me and KC, we talk almost on a daily basis, putting our little business out there. But it's good to be able to have an adult conversation with an adult, a female, that not only I can pour in, she can pour into me. And that's so beneficial to me to have somebody like that. But I respect her situation. She respects my situation, you know, because we don't live around each other. We're not, you know, we're miles apart. But I let it be known what she represents to me. But I also respect her situation. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why at the end of the day, a lot of men don't know how to communicate with a woman. They don't know how, because as soon as you communicate with somebody, you want to lasso them into the point that you own them. And that's another thing, especially us men. I'm not saying women don't look at the ownership as well, but you know, it's not about ownership. It's about loving one another, respecting one another, and building together and trying to enjoy life, because we have life challenges there. And so I'm never going to run for someone that means something to me in a special way. I'll definitely say it. I want them to get their flowers where they can hear it. I don't need them to be on their deathbed for me to finally give them their flowers, to tell the world, not open the window and yell out, "This is a great person," where they can't really hear it no more. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. You know. Oh, Casey said I'm moving to South Carolina. I guess all my chicken heads gonna have to go away. That's a little inside.
Well.
Chicken.
So you know, okay.
Gosh.
So Jules says she's single. You know, and this is for the fellas in the chat too. You know, are you single, married? Is it complicated? Let's go to it. Single, married, is it complicated? You know, and here's the reason why I'm asking it. You know, are you single, married, or is it complicated? Because some of y'all it's complicated. Some of y'all are married and it's complicated. Some of y'all are single and it's complicated. Some of y'all it's just plain old complicated. But at the end of the day, the reason I ask this is, you know, I see these relationship podcasts and I hear the conversation. I watch Tangy T too. And and I agree, sometimes disagree, and I sit there and sometimes I laugh. At the end of the day, the question is, what can we do to make each one of ourselves better? And I think that all starts with self. I think the problem with a lot of us is we trying to love folks and we don't love ourselves. We trying to give what we ain't even gave ourselves. And and I think that's where the problem is. And you try to do it to satisfy people. I think somebody told you this is how you look to us, and you want to look a certain way to folks. You can't look that way to folks. You got to listen. I'm going to be happy with whom I'm with because I'm happy with me. And guess what? I'm not with somebody to get your applause or to get your stamp of approval on who I'm with. I don't care. I don't care if I'm with somebody that's 100 pounds. I don't care if I'm with somebody that's 400 pounds. I don't care if she's taller than me, shorter than me. I don't care. If she is who I'm with and I love her because I love her and my soul is entwined with her, I'm not with her for you. And too many people, I think, are with folks for other folk. They with folk for other folk. And that's why all these relationships are going all over the place, because you can't love a person when you don't love yourself. I'm just saying.
Jessica,
beauty
Jessica
is
Jessica starting stuff. Jessica starting stuff. You don't see a comment, Joe?
Yeah, I see it. I'll put it up there.
I don't run from nothing. She said, I feel like something may be brewing between Brother Fatina and KC with the eye, and I'm here for it.
Hey,
who knows? Hey, who knows what the future will tell? Who knows?
Hey, so at the end of the day, it is 10 minutes to the top of the hour. It has been another day of hashtag Truth Be Told. Right now,
I ain't ready to go. I ain't ready to go. I ain't going nowhere yet.
But I got to go work. it's
bad work too. I gotta go get shit ready and stuff together.
Yeah. You got to go and keep doing what we do on another level. I got to change and go into a whole different profession. But
no open line. Those that watch Open Line on Wednesday night, we did 2 shows last week. This past nah, bro, I got something to do. I got something to do.
Hold it, rub me. Hold it, do that for me again. Do that again. How you do it? Oh man, hold it. No, I need you to do that, Petit. There you go.
Just leave it alone.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
I got something to do tonight, man. I got something to do.
Say the only person taking L's is Dallas, not me. Only person taking L's is Dallas, not me. Speaking of which, y'all, we're getting up toward the weekend. The weekend is coming. Tomorrow is Friday Junior. It is Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What? Listen, this weekend, there's going to be a lot shaking and baking in sports. A lot of y'all don't know. Y'all getting ready for Tyson? Tyson getting ready to box again.
Friday night is live on Netflix, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. So Tyson getting ready to box. There's a lot going on in football. I like to give big ups to a team that I just didn't think they were that cold, but they cold. Big ups to the Washington Commanders. Even though my Pittsburgh Steelers beat them by 1 point, they barely beat them by 1 point. Jaden Daniels is the truth. That's all I got to say.
The Commanders are there. KC is there. KC, Kansas City. I mean,
right. Kansas City.
Let's Kansas City on this one. Kansas City. The Detroit Lions. I think this is again. I thought it was their last year. I think Detroit is going to upset somebody. They should go to the Super Bowl. I would like to see the Commanders get there. I don't think. Again, my man Chuck, chill out. He's a Eagles fan. He hates us Dallas Cowboys, and I got it. I give this brother props because he had a health challenge this year and he survived it. We were at the concert together. He's looking great. I saw him put up the picture with BBD. We was all out there at the Prudential Center Friday night. But he's a Eagles fan. I got to see the Eagles. They seem like they just can't win that game. They're not as Dallas, but they just can't get over that hump. Can they get over the hump? And that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see them in Washington. It would, for me, I would have loved to see Washington, Dallas, and the Eagles in that same division, but it's not Dallas, so they're not in the conversation. But Philly and Washington, This is some good football. And I wish that they were playing, instead of Dallas playing on Turkey Day, I wish the Eagles in Washington were playing on there. I think Detroit always plays on Thanksgiving Day, and Dallas always play on Thanksgiving Day. So we'll see what's happening. Thanksgiving I go on vacation after this Friday, and I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. So Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away from tomorrow. 2 weeks away from tomorrow. It's the 28th.
The 28th.
28th this
right,
year.
The 28th. So hold on. So let me put some things out there for y'all to ponder on. The week of the 25th, Thanksgiving week on the 25th. I don't know. We might have to do a road show because I'll be down in New Orleans getting ready for the Bayou Classic, where Southern and Grambling, the annual Bayou Classic down.
What's the day? Is the 25th?
25th is that Monday. I'll be in New Orleans.
I'll handle it. I'll get some people on because we're gonna be off Thanksgiving and Friday. So we're gonna be one show.
We're gonna be on the week of Thanksgiving. We're only gonna have a show Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We will be off Thursday, Friday until the next Monday. Yes, we will.
Yeah, I'll handle Monday. I'll get some people, and hopefully Sister Jax will be on. And I'll get some people on, and we'll go over everything and not wait till that weekend to get everything and the codes and everything and do a dry run on a weekend day.
I'll start it off. I'll start it off and just turn it over to y'all because I'll be on the road, and then I'll do like Jax. I'll pop in and pop back out. Let y'all keep it.
We're gonna do a Monday show. Yeah, we'll do a Monday show.
So man, listen, family. In case you haven't paid attention.
What's going on in this chat here? Wait a minute. What y'all doing in this chat? Oh, ringing bells and stuff. I didn't say put up nothing, Joe. I didn't say.
Oh no, I ain't put nothing. Hold it. Be exact. Hold up, brother Fatim. Let's just do this. We're gonna let you handle your business. Go on and give me some closing words where we can get up out of here, bro. Let's go.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say thank you all in the chat. Number one. Brother Gregory Nelson, I said earlier, there's no open line show this evening because it's something I have to do after Reverend Sharpton show, and it may run over past the time of 8 p.m. So we'll be off. We'll return this Sunday morning after the open line on air show. So there will be no open line show this evening. First of all, prayers goes out. First of all, Joe, we keep saying prayers. What is your grandson's name?
His name, hold on, let's bring me both up. His name is Jordan Quest Lilly. Jordan Quest Lilly.
You can stay here because I'm going to make my closing thoughts on Jordan Quest Lilly. Thank you for sharing. Seems like things, like you said, are in stable condition, but we still keep our prayers up for him. With prayers up for the family, prayers up for you, my brother. We do this, and we are a family that come together. I noticed that we came for the dot. We come together for people in the chat. And, life presents challenges. A lot of times, Joe, you don't share everything, brother. You don't share everything. You don't share. I know that. That's who you are, and I've learned I respect that. That's why sometimes I have to keep on you. But, for you to share this, you have concern. And I think we talked about a gamut of things today. But what happens in life, and then we start to see what's important is life. Life is important. Relationships, relationships important. Who you voted for is important. But when we put it in a relevant condition, relevancy, our health is important and our life is important. So we pray for your grandson. We pray for, I forgot who said that their sister was diagnosed. It was
Laura Bell.
Laura Bell said that her sister was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. I understand usually that means sometimes it comes back, or if it wasn't caught early. And we send prayers because that is a very, very tough situation to be in stage 4. So people are going through challenges. So that's why we come on here. And sometimes we get passionate and harsh and argue and debate and spit and all that kind of stuff. But we know and we love one another, and we love y'all because we have become a family here. So with that being said, to everybody, because we all go through challenges. Some you don't share. Jessica, you're doing a tremendous job of taking care of loved ones, family members, and doing what needs to be done. For all those that are dealing with those challenges, sometimes our words can give you a little inspiration and hope. Sometimes it don't change your situation, or sometimes it may pick you up and make you look at things differently and handle things that may change your situation in a positive way. So that's why we're here. So at the end of the day, of fussing and fighting, don't take it serious because we love one another. We get on the phone and talk, and if we have to hash something out, we'll hash it out. Me and Jennifer Jones Austin went hard on Open Line on the air. We had a talk Monday. We're cool. We're gonna have moments. I cannot be scared to debate or push back on my people, and I want them to push back on me, because I'm not the only one that's pushing the envelope. We all are pushing the envelope, but we're trying to make each other better. So that's what it is about. Same thing with Douglas Guidry. I'm gonna burn that hat. But anyway, and Eddie Bonnet, he knows how I feel about him, because when he comes on here and open up dialogue, we have a better understanding and a better conversation of what we're talking about. And even sometime when Douglas Guidry calls in, we have a better understanding. So it's about understanding and uplifting one another. And those that believe, keeping the high prayers up. And those that may not walk in that light of belief or faith like that, believe in yourself and still pull on positive affirmations out there. Those are my final words.
That part. So let me say this. It's my little man right here. That's him. That's little Jordan Quest Lily. First time I showed him to anybody. So that's my man. That's little Jordan Quest Lily. And yes, not only do I lift him up before the Most High, but I lift his mother, his father, his outstanding father, Chris. And I say that all the time. Chris, you my man. And keep me in prayer. Keep her mother in prayer. Her bonus dad, Thalen, and her bonus mom, Danica, in prayer, because everybody kind of probably like this right now when it comes down to Jordan. But all I can say is, family, the following. Be better today. Be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to be a blessing to somebody somewhere. And no matter who you bless, there's no earthly way they can pay you back, because you gave it freely. You didn't expect anything back. You just did it because it was the right thing to do. And always remember that there is no secret, absolutely no secret, what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, no one or nothing can stand against you. We up out of here. Y'all be blessed. We'll be back tomorrow for Turn Up Thursday. Turn Down for What? With the ladies' man. Sister Jackson, yours truly, Joe Dupree. Never know what love connection might be going on hashtag.
We'll be back in 2 and 2. Remember that 2 and 2, we'll be back.
And we out of here. Peace.